Hello and welcome back to Extra Shot, the pod spilling the funniest stories in sport this week. On the pod this week, Mikel Arteta's criminal connections, Wayne Rooney's sordid team talks, and is Vincent Kompany an absolute bastard? I am Zachary Sweeney-Lynch, and with me is producer George.
Hello mate, you alright?
The man with an army of furious bots ready to fight his corner on Reddit.
So, for those who aren't on our Reddit, on the Upshot podcast subreddit, which do join if you're not, there was a very flattering message from a certain user that basically
may or may not be George.
basically was saying that they enjoyed my contributions whilst simultaneously panning Zak and Jack's recent episodes, which somewhat unfairly, but of course it's caused many rumours within Upshot Towers that I am the shady Svengali figure behind the user that goes by the name of Poopy 1968.
It's a bit like that. We did a story a couple months ago about the Sunderland manager Michael Beale, who had a burner account where he was defending himself on Twitter. And then we found the Reddit post about it was from an account called Michael Meal. Is this a cord stupor job?
I can promise you it's not me. And Poopy 1968, if you are listening, I would really appreciate if you were to make a post proving your identity and that it isn't me, because it's become now that whenever there's a negative comment about Jack and Zak, it's a joke that I am somewhat behind as this sort of weird
shady figure,
sort of smear campaign against my co-workers, which of course it is not. But I'll be lying if I say that the atmosphere in Upshot Towers these past few weeks hasn't been a little bit tense.
It's been icy, it has, yeah.
But yeah. So also, like, I'm imagining you and Jack are sort of piecing together this investigation and like
we've got a pin board in the office,
like a sort of LAPD.
Yeah. We're getting closer to cracking the true identity of Poopy 96, whatever his name is.
You're gonna nail me fairly soon.
Just looking for that final strand of DNA evidence that links you to it.
The smoking gun. Yeah, I've worked in digital media a long time. You ain't gonna get me, boy.
We're trying.
Any digital footprints have long been swept over.
Yeah, so Jack is on holiday. He's on the Isle of Wight, possibly hanging out with David Icke. We're not entirely sure.
Yeah. His fellow, I don't know, what do you call people from the Isle of Wight? Whiteys?
Whiteys. Islanders? I don't know.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I did see him last week sort of manifesting positive energy into a glass of water. So
yeah, he'd fashioned a tinfoil hat out of a colander.
He says it was a sun hat. It's going to be hot there over the weekend, but more to do with that bloody 5G mast they've put up. It's either that or a nudist convention that he's at. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, those two things aren't mutually exclusive. He could very well be hanging out with David Icke on a nudist beach.
God, that's an image I'll never get out of my head. We also had a review this week in the Radio Times, very, very nice review from a listener and journalist, Caroline Frost, who described me and Jack as a posh Beavis and Butthead, which is my new favourite description, I think.
Yeah, there've been quite a few posh Beavis and Butthead. I mean, the posh thing is something that we're seeing is a recurring theme, isn't it? It's often cited.
Yeah. So I've got a little update for you. Last week we were talking about the Italian gymnast who was sponsored by the Parmigiano Reggiano Consortium, aka Big Parma, and we were sort of joking that maybe Grana Padano should get in on the act, maybe sponsor the weightlifting or something. But it turns out Grana Padano has a slightly different vibe. So last weekend they were sponsoring a 2-day rave in Ibiza.
That is amazing.
The Ibiza Global Festival in San Antonio, sponsored by Grana Padano.
Do you think that came from the marketing team within the hard cheese company, and they thought, okay, so completely different route. We want to just try to take it in like the polar opposite direction. They're
sort of the wild child of the Parmesan cheese family. The black sheep, like Parmigiano Reggiano is he's gone to the Olympics. Is first member of the family to go to the Olympics, sponsoring a gymnast. Very proud.
Yeah,
and then
the child that they boast about at dinner parties.
Yeah. And then Grana Padano is sort of the Wayne Lineker of the Parmesan cheese.
The other company's Gary. And then the way, sort of like bedroom DJ, drops out of school.
Yeah. So how is Grana Padano doing?
He's all right. Yeah, he's still doing his clubbing. Yeah, you got to follow your dreams.
Right, thank you to Brett for sending that in. Brett was at the rave.
How does that spotlight? I've seen some weird brand sponsorships like throughout the years, but how does that? Are they giving out free? I can't imagine if you're on a 2-day rave in Ibiza. I can't imagine at any point you're going to want to have some.
They're just giving out little baggies filled with grated cheese.
I'd like to know what that rave was like.
Yeah, Brett said it was great.
No pun intended.
Oh, George. We had another letter actually from Richard off the back of our Jamie Vardy episode that came out this week. The title of that episode was Jamie Vardy Chat Shit Get Banged.
There was only one title for that one.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of his catchphrase. But Richard said that in 2022 he was on a stag do and he decided to get Chat Shit Get Banged tattooed on himself in Hungarian, which he did, and later realised, I think he was told by a Hungarian friend, that it in fact said, "I talk shit, fuck me," which is basically chat shit, get banged, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a literal translation.
Different, banged as in fucked or banged as in knocked out. That's obviously where the language barriers come into play.
Yeah.
But it just makes no sense. They must have been hammered when they got that done.
I have a Korean friend, and she was telling me that her dad has an English friend who came to visit them one time in Korea. And they went on like a hike and he took off his shirt and he had this tattoo on his arm, and she went up to him. She's like, "Hey, Tony, why does it say tuna on your arm?" And he just like turned around and was like, "What?" Like ran up to her dad and was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and it turns out 20 years ago, he'd gone to his friend and be like, "I want to get Tony tattooed on my arm." And he told him he'd got tuna tattooed on his arm instead.
Oh, mate. You'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
So the Olympics is finally over.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was a laugh. It was definitely, I don't know whether it's just because of our times, but it felt like the most memeable Olympics so
definitely.
far.
Yeah.
There were a lot of standout stars, a lot of great moments.
Yeah. Did you catch the closing ceremony?
Yeah, I caught it in drips and drabs. It absolutely shat on the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Do you think they had a crisis meeting after the opening ceremony? It was just like, we need to sort this out.
Yeah, it did get absolutely panned. I mean, after the opening ceremony, I found there was quite a lot of sort of depressing, like culture warsy comments about, because obviously there were like some drag queens and transgender models and stuff in the opening ceremony. It all got, I don't know, that's a classic culture warsy. But clearly they decided to play it safe with the closing ceremony and just got the world's foremost Scientologist to abseil in from the roof. So there are a few interesting stories from the final days of the Olympics. Do you see that Indian wrestler who got disqualified for missing the weight grade?
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, so apparently she realised the day before the gold medal fight, so she'd got to the final already. She realised the day before that she was over the weight grade and spent the whole night before the fight up, running on a treadmill, skipping, not drinking or eating, sitting in the sauna, trying to like sweat it all out. Got out, was still over the weight grade, shaved her head, everything she could possibly do, and ended up 100 grams overweight.
That's nothing, is it?
It's the weight of a small banana.
Yeah, like a chocolate bar.
I was thinking after reading that, surely you're just one big shit away from making the weight grade.
I imagine that was probably the first the first method that she used.
Been on the laxatives all night.
Do you reckon the eyebrows are going at that point?
I guess. Like, where do you go once you've lost the hair?
I mean, there was that
teeth.
There was that hockey player, wasn't it, who chopped a finger off? Would you go to that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could do that actually.
I mean, that would be.
As a wrestler.
Yeah, quite integral.
Yeah. Then if you lose, then.
Do you reckon eyebrows were ever considered?
I hope so. That would be. Yeah. Obviously, the real star of the final weekend was Reagan, the Australian breakdancer whose kangaroo routine got her a grand total of 0 points across their 3 battles. If you've been living under a rock and have not seen Reagan's performance, then please go and watch it. It's something to behold. She sort of starts out by doing this. She like taps her chest, taps the kangaroo badge on her Australia tracksuit, and then hops around like a kangaroo, and then does a very weird sort of rolling around on the floor routine. A lot of people say that this is what it would be like if a normal person took part in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It gave off big Mr. G from Summer Heights High. It felt a bit Summer Heights High. And also she was wearing normally the breakers are wearing sort of decked out in Carhartt streetwear and whatnot, where she was just wearing like full Australia tracksuit with like a baseball cap, like tipped slightly to the side, was it?
It was quite like Neil Warnock 2002 outfit, tracksuit, baggy tracksuit.
Full baggy tracksuit, yeah.
I kind of can't decide about it. I sort of love her enthusiasm and just not caring and going for it. But at the same time, is it taking a spot from somebody else?
There's got to be a more talented breaker than Ray Gunn, who could have.
I saw a good tweet that said, "I've been to Australia and she is their best dancer." I'm wondering if her whole appearance is just a very meta piece of performance art, because she's an academic, and she specialises in the cultural politics of breakdancing. So I looked into her a little bit. One of her papers is about breakdancing in the Olympics, the possibilities and politics of sportification, where she's basically discussing whether making this sort of countercultural art form that originated in African American communities on the streets of New York, whether putting that into the Olympics is a good thing or whether it's sort of dragging breaking away from what it should be. And then the Olympics,
like making it establishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then the Olympics rolls around and you've got a 36-year-old white Australian university lecturer jumping around like a kangaroo. I think you've got your answer there.
Yeah, effectively creating a case study for herself that she can write a paper on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's mad. She obviously, and I believe rightly so, got completely panned. But I saw a quote from her saying, "Some Olympians spend their entire lives training to make history, to carve out a name for themselves. I trained for exactly 37 minutes and now I'm the most famous breakdancer in the world. My sick move shut down an entire event. How many Olympians can say that?" And I'm like,
stay humble in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, I don't know, that reading that quote, I kind of feel like she just loves the attention regardless.
Yeah. Well, she's got some great content for her next seminar anyway.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. God,
selling out lecture theatres around the world.
Who's signing up for that course?
Yeah, I mean, now a lot of people think.
What's your overall take on it then?
You know what I actually thought about? Obviously, her dancing got absolutely panned, but she's all right at dancing. She's quite good. Like if she was your friend and she did that dance at a party, then you'd be like, wow, God, Ray Gunn's, she's fucking sick at breaking. But at the same time, I've got friends who are quite fast, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to see them competing against Noah Lyles. I mean, I would like to see that, but I don't think they necessarily deserve to be doing that.
To be on that pedestal.
I don't know. Obviously, it generated a lot of comedy value for the Olympics, so I thank her for that. But I don't think it really did much for the sport of breaking. Or
on the flip side, it's put it back. Everyone's talking about breaking now. Maybe there'll be a whole wave of Ray Gunn devotees who take up the sport. If they think, well, if she can do it, then anyone can.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the kangaroo celebration for the first Premier League round of games.
that would be so good.
Yeah, I reckon it could happen. My favourite tweet about it was saying that watching this 36-year-old university lecturer in a breaking battle with a white Lithuanian girl wearing a do-rag is like a scene from a slightly problematic noughties comedy.
Like Kangaroo Jack.
It's quite like sort of stoner Seth Rogen kind of comedy.
Oh, that's great.
Also, I didn't realise the judges in the Olympics were also going by their B-boy, B-girl names.
I suppose that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because you got like they're the only people who are actually fit to judge breaking or other breakers.
Yeah, there was one of the judges whose real name was Martin Gillian, which is a very Olympic judge sort of name, but he was going by MG-bility.
Are they still sort of like 65-year-old men who are like forced to? Like that's why his real name is Martin, but it's just like in order to judge, you've got to have a B-boy name. Like,
yeah. Whereas these sort of IOC blazers having to cook up.
I'm just imagining them with their like placards on their desk.
Yeah. Sure, I can't just go with Martin Gillian. It's like, no, it's just not right, really, is it? Yeah.
What would your B-boy name be?
Probably Zak Attak. sort of an easy way out. But what about you?
I wish I thought of this before. Yeah, I think just Coopz with a Z.
Coopz with a Z, yeah. Should we do that in the description for this pod? Join Zak Attak and Coopz.
Zak Attak and Coopz for the latest edition of Extra Shot. Now, Zach, Mikel Arteta has long, especially from his managerial career, been living in the shadow of his mentor, Pep Guardiola, and it's led him to adopt various, should we say, extreme methods in order to instill a winning mentality amongst his team. He famously bought a dog, named it Win, that now roams the Arsenal's training ground. He's also been known to blast "You'll Never Walk Alone" full volume on massive speakers whilst his team are training to, quote, prepare them for the hostile sort of atmosphere at Anfield. So he's got some unorthodox methods here.
There was a team talk that he did where he brought along a light bulb, and which he was like holding during the team talk, it lit up halfway through to illustrate them. I can't remember what it was.
Well, it's just whenever he had a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's been along to some sort of weird like motivational business conference kind of thing and just brought back all of these quite like cheesy motivational gimmicks. Yeah,
it's all quite David Brent, isn't it? But I think he's taken things to the next level here, and I believe maybe somewhat crossed the line. So I'm not sure if you've seen, but at a recent team dinner, Mikel Arteta hired a gang of pickpockets to disperse among the restaurant and lift the personal items of his teammates as a kind of, I don't know, try to get this message across to trying to make his team alert at all times and be able to like think on their feet. So all the team gathered round, they've just finished their pizzas and whatnot, and he's like, guys, check your pockets. And they're patting themselves down. Kai Havertz has lost his family heirloom watch that his great-grandfather who survived the wars handed him down. He's like, you've got to stay fucking alert, guys. You need to keep track of your personal possessions. I don't know. I think it's just the most batshit pre-season motivational training technique.
Where has he got these pickpockets from?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like an agency, like notoriously untrustworthy, these pickpockets. It would be quite funny if he sort of tried to summon them back and they'd all fucked off.
What? Just yeah. Well, Bukayo Saka's like, please. It's like I get your point, Mikel. Like, please, can I have my Rolex back now? And he's like, yes, sir.
Yeah, just like that.
Oliver Twist, where are you? Please come back,
guys. I'm sorry. I'm assured by the agency that they will be returning. I've left multiple voicemail, very strong word email, and I'm assured that they will come back and return your possessions. But yeah, I mean, how would you feel if your manager had done a similar thing to?
I feel quite violated, I think.
Yeah.
I'd just be very curious where he's recruited these pickpockets from. He's sort of just hanging out in like Highbury and Islington tube station, just recruiting the local urchins.
Gutter snipes and thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions there. Also, like, begs the question is, like, to what lengths would if he's willing to hire pickpockets in order to demonstrate a point and try and keep his team alert, like, where does it stop? He could go to some quite mafia-esque lengths.
Kidnap Martin Odegaard's kids.
Yeah.
It's like you are not paying attention when you pick them up from school.
If you want to see Fiona and Sophie again,
you did not vet their badminton coach very well. It was very easy to take them. Yeah, pickpockets and kidnappers as well are notoriously untrustworthy.
Yeah, he's playing with fire.
You get them in to do one job and they'll very, very quickly go off page, off script.
Can you imagine if you were like a sort of like North London pickpocket and you got approached by Mikel Arteta?
You're licking your lips. It's like, do you want to come along to this dinner with all of these guys who are on like 250 grand a week?
Yeah, like, you what? I can just take their watches.
Come early, yeah.
It's like you've hit the jackpot there. Completely free reign.
Yeah. So the Premier League is back this weekend.
It's back.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm buzzing actually.
Football League already kicked off last weekend, which is nice. That miserable 4-week stint of spending quality time with your family is finally over for everybody, which is great. A couple of nice lower league moments from the first weekend. So you see the Gillingham season ticket holder who turned up for the first game and discovered that his seat had been ripped out.
Yeah, amazing. It was like sort of, you can't write that. Did you see the photograph of it? It's just like a load of pipes and bolts where his seat should have been.
Yeah, bringing back standing.
Yeah, Gillingham do have that god awful temporary stand. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like, it was meant to be a temporary measure for maybe like half a season, and then it's just stayed for like 10 years.
Really?
It literally just looks like scaffolding.
There was also the you see the non-league manager drinking a pint of Madry in his post-match interview.
Just so good, that, wasn't it?
Great.
So good.
Man, there's a real man of the people.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the big stories the first weekend was Wayne Rooney's return to management at Plymouth in the Championship. He obviously had that terrible stint at Birmingham last year. He took over when they were 6th and was sacked 3 months later with them 20th. So it sort of feels like last chance saloon really for Rooney. And his first game back didn't go to plan. There were some bad omens from the start, actually. Plymouth managed to misspell 2 of their players' names on the back of their shirts.
That's so village, that, isn't it?
Adam Forshaw got an extra E, so Fore, Shaw, which is kind of easily enough done. And then another guy, Sissoko, came out with Isoko on his back. Bit bobbins.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
It went from bad to worse on the pitch as well. Plymouth lost 4-0. The reason that I bring Rooney up is that I was reading an article in The Guardian about him. It was talking about how he's had to sort of overcome the doubters to take this new job. So there's one line that stood out saying that Plymouth squad have been impressed by Wayne's personable approach to man management, with some expressing surprise at his willingness to tell stories against himself, often involving his own misadventures.
Of which there have been many.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds an awful lot like he's banging on about his tiny cock again. For anyone who's listened to our Wayne Rooney episode will remember that during his ill-fated stint at DC United, Rooney gave a team talk where he cited his tiny cock as an example of overcoming adversity. So I've got a quote from that team talk. "You might look at me and see a serial winner, but I've made my fuck-ups in life. I've had to overcome my own limitations. I've got a tiny cock." But apparently, the DC United dressing room just fell into stunned silence. There was a dressing room source said afterwards, "A few of the young lads were horrified. They don't share the same British sense of humour." Anyway, it seems like he's pulling out the old stories, reverting to formula at Plymouth.
So good. Well, you think that's like his equivalent of breaking the safety glass? It's like, right, we're 2-0 down. It's half time. I need to bring out the tiny. I need to remind them of what I've been through in life.
Just imagining his meeting with the assistant coach. It's like, yeah, we're at our wit's end. It's like, yeah, have you told him the tiny cock story? It's like, I've tried it. Just didn't seem to work.
Like, do we change the formation? Do we bring on our second striker? Do we go 3 at the back? I've got just the thing.
Yeah, do you think he whipped out at half time against Sheffield Wednesday?
What you mean, this tiny cock?
Just look at this.
This is what I'm dealing with. Unorthodox managerial methods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd prefer to work under, Rooney or Arteta. I fucking love Wayne Rooney, and I love seeing him more in the public light now because I think he's got like a really good sense of humour and he's just like very humble. But we featured it in the Vardy episode that just came out this week. But I just love the fact that after supporting Colleen during the Wagatha Christie trial, he was so sort of fascinated by the legal system that he was saying that he was going to sign up and do a law degree.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been great. Imagining him defending somebody in court and he's like, he might have done a bit of shoplifting, but he's had to overcome a lot in life, which I can tell you all about that myself because have you seen the size of my knob?
He just used it in every single situation where he's got to try and motivate me.
Sort of haggling at a car boot sale. Come on, I've got it tough enough already. Come on, you can knock £10 off the lawnmower, surely. Moving on, another Premier League legend who's had a questionable foray into management is Vincent Kompany, who, at Man City, I always thought that Vincent Kompany came across as one of the most likeable guys in football. He's quite, he always seemed very calm, level-headed, sort of Buddhist monk-like temperament.
Yeah.
But, there's that quote, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think Vincent seems to be a case in point. There's a clip that came out this week from Sky's new documentary about Burnley, and it seems like Vincent's new life as a manager has transformed him into an absolute bastard. So there's this clip of him pursuing the midfielder Johan Berg Gudmundsson across the training pitch, absolutely screaming expletives at him.
And then it's about controlling your emotions, is being on that fine limit of being passionate and driven but never reckless.
And again, boys, last time.
People who behave in that way become winners.
Joey, don't fucking test me! Do not fucking test me! I'm enough for the fucking moaning! Enough for the fucking moaning! Play fucking football! What gives you the fucking right to moan about everything? Fucking play! How many times do I have to tell you? Stop fucking moaning! What, you got something you want to communicate to the team? You want to communicate something? You're a big boy? No, you're a big boy, you want to talk?
Shitting hell.
He's like, he absolutely losing the plot. Apparently he swears 15 times in 1 minute.
What's funny about that clip as well is in the Vox pop that he's doing to camera before that clip, he's like, yeah, football is all about controlling your emotions.
yeah, they've done it really.
They've done it dirty in the edit, yeah. So good.
Also the way Gudmundsson is, he's sort of just like trudging back, like just about to start another drill, and Kompany's just like following him across the pitch. He's like, you want to talk, big boy? You're a big boy, yeah? You're a big boy.
Yeah, he went kind of Gordon Ramsay in that moment, didn't he? Like, hey, big boy, hey.
Yeah.
Also, he wasn't saying anything either. Like, he was just like walking back on his own business. He's like, you got something to say? It's like, no.
Yeah, just please fuck off.
Like, your fucking body language. Oh, mate, it was completely head loss.
Yeah, it just seems completely out of character from my image of Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, old Melonhead.
Actually, speaking of horrible managers, I stumbled across an absolute classic of the genre this week. German manager Peter Hibala. So he's been a real journeyman manager. He's coached teams Namibia, Slovakia, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, all over. And at the start of July, about 6 weeks ago, he was appointed manager of South African top flight side Sekhukhune United. And, Sekhukhune United probably thought that they were getting this quite cultured manager. He's got experience in all of these different footballing worlds. He'll bring so much to the club. Sure, he only lasted less than a year in his last 12 jobs, but, there's probably some innocent explanation for that.
So, yeah, red flags should be,
I think so.
Be waving.
And it didn't go to plan. So within a few weeks, players started complaining about his unprofessional and insulting behaviour. One of the club's senior analysts quit because they'd fallen out with him. And it then emerged that the local press had a sex tape of him with 2 escorts in a Johannesburg brothel.
Shit.
So this came out and Peter initially denied it to the club, but they had the tape.
So he denied it originally?
Yeah, he tried to deny that it was him, and then.
Do we know how the tape was made? Was it like a contraband type thing? Or was he filming it himself?
No, I don't think he was filming. I think it had been sort of.
It was a honey trap.
Exactly, and then given to the
club
press in South Africa, and then to the club as well.
That's so. I'm just imagining them all in the sort of board meeting, be like, we've had intel that you've been sleeping with ladies of the night in Joe Baker's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they just sort of turn around, sort of like click play on the remote. Just watch it play out.
You just have to watch it with your boss.
Oh man, that must have been.
And then just having to just be like, no.
Can you think of a worse way of getting fired?
Having to watch your own sex tape with your boss. Yeah.
You sleeping with sex workers. Oh my God,
it's pretty bad. But it sounds like the players have dodged a bullet, actually. I did a bit of digging on Hibala's background and he's left an absolute trail of destruction wherever he's been. So he was sacked by the Dutch sides Breda and Nijmegen after giving pretty manic TV interviews and falling out with the management. Vista Krakow fired him after he got into fights with players, and at Danish side Esbjerg, the players actually came together and published an open letter denouncing him.
How does he keep getting jobs?
I have no idea. Some of them he's only there for like 3 weeks before they sack him.
They realise that he's an absolute reprobate.
Yeah, so this letter that the SBO players published said that he'd mentally terrorised them, punched players, fat-shamed them, repeatedly called one player a stupid horse, and photographed them naked to keep track of their fitness.
Oh my God, this is so sinister.
It's like quite abusive, really.
Yeah,
they said
that
that
deserves to be banged up.
Yeah. Apparently, these nude photos of them were just kept on like his private mobile device, and they didn't know what was going on with them. So,
do you reckon
he sounds like an absolute nutter.
Yeah. Do you reckon he was using these nudes that he's got on a hard drive somewhere as motivation? See, I'm surprised Mikel Arteta might utilise that to get. It's like, if you don't perform, he's going online. He's going online.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty.
Yeah, savage.
He's in the sort of hard knock school of management, I think. Maybe Vincent Kompany is looking for an assistant at Bayern, actually.
Yeah. You were showing me his Wikipedia page, and he does have the look of somebody who would be like occupying the cell next to Hannibal Lecter. He's got this like crazed stare, like sort of Charles Manson-esque
he's
look
seen
about
things.
him. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's done things.
Yeah, I just don't know how he keeps getting these jobs. Is he going to get another job?
Yeah, I mean,
to be honest,
maybe at Chelsea.
To be honest, you think after that letter published by his players, that would be the final straw for most. Most managers, but he's still going.
He must have stuff on people. I don't know. Maybe he's like operating in a complete. Yeah, exactly. Put in a good word, or this hard drive gets published.
Yeah. Okay, so I promise this is the last time that we're going to mention the River Seine, the open sewer of the River Seine in this podcast. But did you see the Irish gold medalist who was forced to miss the closing ceremony because he was hospitalised by a stomach bug?
Oh, another one.
Yeah, another one. So this is Daniel Whiffen, who has been a bit of a hero for Ireland at this Olympics. He won gold in the 800 metre freestyle and bronze in the 1500 metres. Then last Friday he took part in the 10k marathon swim, which was in the Seine. He finished 18th in that. And
10k marathon swim is a lot of exposure, isn't it?
It's not sort of in and out.
It's a lot of Todd dodging.
Yeah, and Daniel was due to carry the Irish flag at the closing ceremony, but the night before the ceremony he was rushed off to hospital with this serious stomach infection. He blames it on the Seine, and by my count, that's now 8 athletes who've fallen sick after swimming in it. 2 of them have been hospitalised. So, Emmanuel Macron, we're still watching. When's your turn?
Yeah, and these are just the ones that we like know about.
Yeah.
Imagine how many have just like had the
Slightly
shit.
dodgy belly, yeah.
Well, there'll be 10 a penny, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think that submerging your head in turd-riddled Parisian waterways is bad, spare a thought for American marathon swimmer Jim Dreyer. So Jim was attempting to swim across Lake Michigan this week. So an 80-mile swim. It was supposed to take about 3 days. And he was pulling this inflatable boat with him, which had food and various supplies on it. I guess he was also sleeping in this boat because if you swim for 3 days, you got to get out at some point and sleep. But anyway, going into his 3rd day, Jim stopped to change the AA batteries in his GPS and accidentally dropped all of his batteries into the lake.
The real Mr. Bean moment.
I also like, why? I don't know. Somehow I picture it being a slightly more professional job than just like AA batteries.
Yeah, well, you can't get AA batteries wet, can you? You think it'd be a more high-tech sort of device, and fumbling around trying to work out whether it's plus or minus, and then, whoa, shit.
Yeah.
They're in the deep blue.
Yeah. So that left him relying only on a little compass that he had in his watch, plus trying to sort of read the waves and the clouds to work out which direction he was going. He said that by this point his brain was mush and he was hallucinating about cargo ships and putting his hand through a steel wall. So eventually a rescue boat found him and told him that he'd been swimming in the complete wrong direction for about 8 hours. So he should have had about 23 miles to go, and he actually had 47.
Oh, shit.
And so they took him out of the water and took him home.
Yeah,
They gave him a hot chocolate, I hope.
Wrapped him in a silver blanket. Oh mate, you'd be so pissed off. I suppose it's kind of his own fault for being such a klutz with the batteries.
Yeah, clumsy.
I doubt the rescuers sort of said that to him though. in that moment. You stupid.
Yeah, or just do you reckon he only he's sort of like, how many batteries should we get? Probably 4. Probably get me there.
Probably 2 me. Yeah, I mean it's bad, but I kind of think I would much rather be swimming in Lake Michigan than the Seine. You wouldn't get me going anywhere near those waters.
Would you try the 80-mile stretch or?
I'll probably do the shortest possible. It depends how many batteries I've got.
Bring a battery pack, rechargeable one, then you'll be sorted.
A little wind up. Yeah.
Right, I think that's all we've got time for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, mate, it was good fun. Always a pleasure coming on, filling in whenever you're at your jazz festivals or Jack's wandering up and down the nudist beach.
Yeah, with David
on the Isle of Wight with David Icke. Yeah.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing what your sock puppet army make of your performance. We'll be checking in later.
I imagine favourable reviews will be coming from the sock puppet army. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Poopy, or whatever your name is, Poopy 19. If you are listening, I could do with a thumbs up. Cheers.
Thank you for listening.
See ya.